This is the recording for Maslow, the second person from the humanistic, the second representative from the humanistic conception that says, asks to teach and you to learn, of course. So this is the website. Okay, it's very easy. sites.google.com. Okay, I'll send the link, but you can go through the Moodle there. And uh, as it happens with Rogers, with Maslow, you will find here the Quizlet, a document you can print out for his theory, for your notes. The whatever I'm going to present on the PowerPoint, it will be here if you need to download it, and whatever I say in this recording will be there for those who are away and they need to catch up the lesson. So I want you to remember, as we said, Carl Rogers and Maslow are similar to the extent that both are talking about self-actualization. They are both belong to the humanistic conception, and the humanistic conception is optimistic and has a potential for personal development, as opposite to the psychodynamic, which is pessimistic and always a fight happens. There is no chance for the person to find the cure, even if he tries very hard. This doesn't see the conflict as inevitable, whereas the psychodynamic thinks that always has to be a conflict and things have to vary. Last but not least, humanistic is holistic, concentrates on the healthy psychological development, positive psychology, and in our feelings and individual uniqueness, whereas Freud is more, and Freud mainly, not Jung, the psychodynamic theory as is expressed by Freud is more dealing with the mental ill, sick, sexually suppressed, aggressive people, especially passive aggressive. So let's discuss, sorry, forgot to mention that, these characteristics I just mentioned are very important. If they ask you to compare and contrast theories, characteristics, learnings, they have two options. Either learning, remember the test where you compare and contrast observational and classical conditioning, and here. They have asked in the past and they may ask you again to compare and contrast two theories, psychodynamic versus humanistic, or humanistic versus trait. There is no comparison between trait and psychodynamic. Don't look at there. All of these are in the revision notes. I will mention when it's the time for the revision lesson and the questions. Now, let's start with Maslow. The last one, he believes in growth, and personal growth is happening when person has happened the most fundamental needs, because cannot really check or try and find self-actualization if a person is hungry. If he's hungry, he will deal with the basic instincts to survive. So all this whole process is termed self-actualization, but it means that he has to fulfill the first basic needs and then reach the higher level. And that's why we call his theory the theory of hierarchy of needs. Hierarchy of needs. The main point in his theory is that the human needs are based in two areas. The needs that they called deficient or D needs, which are the basic ones, the biological, physiological, and the safety needs. And then we go higher to those who are called B needs or growth needs, which are leading slowly to self-actualization. You understand that we cannot go up unless the last are fulfilled, and the most important is there is a kinetic motion here. If I have self-actualized myself and I lose everything and I need to go back and find food, I will have to cover this first again. can't speak about personal growth, self-fulfillment when I'm hungry and I do everything to find food. Imagine somebody who is rich and has a disaster happening. Somebody, he loses his money, he loses his family, he loses his house, devastating cyclone or whatever, and he needs to be on the run to find food. Then he can't discuss anymore about self-actualization. Remember that. So this is the order the individual has to cover the needs, and you can read all this. We're going to repeat them again. I'm not saying anything but what's it on the PowerPoint, on the VOD. The difference between Maslow and Rogers is that Maslow believes that sometimes if the person goes beyond and above self-actualization, can achieve peak experience where the person feels one with the universe, goes beyond the limitations of ourselves and probably reaches the God. Whereas Rogers was feeling that at the highest stage you can help others. Maslow believes that you can really help others and take it further. Another important part I want you to remember is that if the person cannot meet the needs, it will be frustration developed. So there will be ill health or evil feelings, but that will be there because the person has not developed the actualization. He couldn't go further and feels the frustration because he couldn't go higher up. And although the nature is good and healthy or neutral, we can have some evil in our guides because of this jealousy, because of this envy, or because of this constant need to go higher. Also, he believes, remember I told you that he believes in a punishing God, Maslow, as a Hebrew person. So he believes that the self-actualization can be achieved through discipline, deprivation, frustration, pain, and loss. So you have to suffer first to be able to identify what's there and respect what's there. And these are the characteristics of the self-actualized person. We discussed this point. How can it come? And a self-actualized person, theoretically good, who helps the others, who gets close to God, can be ruthless. This is related again to the ruthless God. He was exposed. The God could be good, but he is ruthless sometimes when has to be. And let's go to the PowerPoint now. Who is Maslow? He was born in 1908 in New York, and he was a very poor person, very poor family. Brooklyn was the lowest income earning at the States at the time and still is. He was not a good student. He was pressured by his father as a Jew boy to become an attorney because the money was there. He took some classes, but he dropped law because he didn't want it. And then he started scientific psychology. That's the only there. He studied the dominance on monkeys, and he did experimental psychology. He started teaching in a college and in Bradford's faculty in the university later, and became an academic. He died in 70s, but the point is at this time he was lucky to discuss and investigate the characteristics of people like Lincoln, Jefferson, the American history presidents, Mahatma Gandhi, Einstein, Eleanor Roosevelt, another American president who was caring for people, and Spinoza, a philosopher. And he, based on them, he made his theory, the theory of hierarchy of needs. So some needs are basic and some other needs are higher order needs. So first we have to fulfill these lower needs. We'll discuss them, biological first, food thirsty. And then when he reaches this point, the D needs, when he has covered the first four stages, he has reached up to self-esteem. Then his needs are salient, they are stable. Theoretically, he can't go back. Theoretically, he has the knowledge, the skills, and the ability to find food whenever needed. So, when he has reached that salient point, the salient needs, then he can really go higher for the higher needs, the self-actualization, which are called B needs. I want you to see this because it's developing better your understanding. The two first levels are the physical needs, the second two levels are the emotional, and the last top is growth. And here the peak experience. This is the peak experience. Only at the top, top, top. Very, very few. So, which are the physiological needs? Sorry, just a moment. Sorry, we continue. So the basic of the needs, the physiological needs. When we're talking about physiological needs, we are talking about food, water, air, sleep, all these that they can keep us alive. And it is the most powerful need. I want you to remember this story of the South American rugby team which crashed in an airplane accident. They were in the Andes in a mountain. The food was the most pressing problem, and these athletes they start eating each other. No, they ate their dead friends just to survive. The same as the most powerful need in Uganda, a tribe, X tribe, forced to give up hunting and live on a land that's not fertile, and all these morals uh, that had developed in that culture, they elapsed. All these people who were starving, um, they became a psychopath. Nang for this culture is the word for food. Uh, Eventually became meaning good, and it was so a huge change in the culture that the parents start stealing food from their children and children from other children because the survival was there. We come back to the animalistic level. The second part of this again basic needs, the first, remember we had two, the basic needs and then the emotional and then the higher level needs. The second level is the safety needs, and when we're talking about safety needs, we're talking about protected from physical attack. That's why we have the need of shelter and care for emotional attack. That's why we need to belonging, the safety from fatal diseases. That's why we need to care for health, and the safety from invasion. That's why we need our cave. We need our shelter, and from extreme losses, to lose job, to lose family members, home, friends. So this is the safety. When something goes wrong there, the person is really in a situation of depression. Let's see what we're talking about. Safety. When we're frightened, thoughts and energies are diverted. We cannot really think how to actualize ourselves. When somebody is attacking me, I'm not thinking how to be humane, but I'm thinking how to survive. I'm triggering the flight and fight reaction. So the same way I'm acting when I have emotional threat. Sometimes, therefore, a very good person can act in a non-humane way because he needs to cover the most powerful needs of safety and self-protection. And then the third level is the love and all the needs of belonging, and there we can have family, social and emotional belonging, inclusion parts, peers, clubs. This is what we need, colleagues, or a very cohesive family. Some people, they don't need to belong in friendships and peer groups because they have their family behind and supporting them. And this is where we develop the affection, give love, and accept love. And of course, this is the way we learn how to control and influence ourselves to others. When we influence somebody with love, protect them safety, we protect them with food, we are the caregivers, and this means that we actualize ourselves at the end of the day. Also, love and belonging. We know that's the most powerful need, and I need to belong in a work group. And this belonging in the work group gives me the ability to go to the higher level, to have fulfilled my esteem needs, because even if I'm loved and belonged and have safety needs, physiological needs covered, I need to have in our society the achievement and the job and or degree that something gives me self-esteem. And this is where we cover the emotional ego. So that means respecting ourselves, all the awards, all the honors, all the status we get from them. And this means that we respect ourselves because we achieve and we understand that we're competent. This is what really is very important for us, and most of you can do that at an early stage. So you have a lot of time to achieve self-actualization. And I know that I'm the one in the previous lesson I was talking about my mom who's forcing me to get my degree, but when you finally get a degree and your parent is there caring and loving and honoring you, you have here and here the feeling of self-esteem. You feel it in your heart, you feel it in your mind that you did it. The parents were there supporting, love and caring, but who did it? It's you. They didn't sit the exams, they didn't do the assignments, you did it. So at this stage, when we achieve the self-actualization, we have covered our D needs, the deficit survival needs, and now our high needs after the salient level, we can enjoy tranquility and have big experiences at the top of the scale when we have covered our self-actualization needs. So what is this actualization needs? Stop being cruel, stop exploiting people, encourage the talents in others, try to be good and human, work, consider others, enjoy and take responsibilities, get satisfaction from our achievement, seek truth and give unselfish love to everybody and be fair to everybody. These are the characteristics of the person who has self-actualized, and these are the needs of the self-actualized person. He has to be good, he has to honor beauty. If you're hungry, you can't go and see art and enjoy art and appreciate art. You have to understand and have a balance between perfection and necessity. You have the need to complete stuff, you have to have a need for justice. All these characteristics, whatever you can remember to make an example and have it in your mind for the exams, that will be it. And of course, the self-actualized person accepts themselves and the others, is spontaneous, it's fresh and appreciative, has democratic, is independent, it has non-hostile sense of humor, it's never sarcastic, and it has intimate personal relationships with everybody. Okay, and that is when they reach their peak experiences. I think I made a mistake and I used a different PowerPoint, and now I need to go to the other PowerPoint altogether, and I may need to do the PowerPoint right from the beginning of the video, but I want you to understand that we have done all this. You need to remember that humanistic theories actually find the meaning for the life. They desire to help the person to achieve. They are more ideographic. That means they focus on the person more than the others. And they believe all these things, that we should experience the person. And I want you to remember that, because they become philosophy again, as I said. And this is where the most of the critique is coming. Where is the science behind this? And Maslow, above everybody, believes that the instinctoid motivation, he believes that person is not dominant, is uncontrollable, it's the opposite of the animals, because he has learned, because he has cultural expectations, And he keeps forgetting that people in that lower level of biological needs, they can be as cruel as animals. So we have done this, and I want you to um, see this one because it's very important how to start this. His hierarchy needs, we discuss all these levels of safety and love and belonging and esteem needs, and of course the self-actualization, the big experience here. But I want you to understand this, that this we start from the biological and we go straight to psychological, and these are the old ones, the ones we cover first, and they're the newer ones, the more recent we have to cover latest, and these are the ones we start early in our life, and this happens late in our life. So what's important for us to understand is that some people can reach there when they're 40 and 30, and some people can reach there when they're 20. It is important to know how quick they are. We have done all this. I'm sorry. I don't want to. Oh, okay. I need to go to the previous. Um, he did some research, theoretical research. That's why he found that the degree of satisfaction in these needs has to be 100% to go to the higher level. If you don't feel self-esteem, you can't go higher. If you feel you have left something behind, all the baggage you have left behind, it's there to haunt you. You can't really feel that you can actualize yourself if you were never loved, or you can't love other people, or you feel unsafe, you feel enemies around you. Okay, so this is what we need to remember. Just a quick one of all these things, that self-esteem and honors and status, and that's really what we do for us. And I want you to understand that when we discuss about physiological and safety needs, we're discussing about structure, order, and predictability in our life. We need that. And then, of course, security. And then we go to belonging and love. It's like giving and receiving love. And when we go to the esteem needs, we're talking about esteem from others and from ourselves. Remember, this is where he falls into Rogers. Rogers has started from there. And then, of course, self-actualization, which is ongoing actualization. Once you reach it, it's not stopping it. It's not achieved and then you don't try. It is an ongoing effort to be yourself and fulfill your destiny. Okay, and that means that you accept your inner nature. So we have discussed all this, that he's not exploiting, he encourages the others, he's taking responsibility, this person. And also, these needs are cognitive, are thinking needs, where the other ones down there are not so related to thinking, they're related to biology. And here you can put this thinking aesthetic needs. This is the person who appreciates the books, the movies, the art. You can't really have that happening here. Or it will be happening in watching movies like Jack something. No, Jack something too. Um, Now, these exceptions. Esteem comes before love and belongingness. How can this happen? If I go back to the previous, you see, esteem comes before love and belongingness. But here we need to be loved and have self-esteem. I want you to tell me how you understand that. Now I gave you some time. I hope you have thought that I develop esteem because I'm loved. And because I have self-esteem, I love myself and I love the others. And this is where Maslow falls into the unconditional positive regard of Rogers. Okay, so there are some similarities. This is similarity between Rogers and Maslow. And I want you to remember that long satisfied needs may be undervalued, that because I'm always having food on my table, I forget how important it is to have food. Creativity may be overwhelmed and cover all the other drives. So the actor who wants to create, or the artist who wants to create, can stay days and days without food. The satisfaction of constant lack means that there's a higher drives never appear. So if you have constant lack, you don't feel ever that you're able to reach self-actualization. For those who didn't get that, I can repeat it in another example. If you're satisfied with what you have left with, you don't aim high, you don't have the drive to self-actualize yourself. If you say, I'm okay, there's no need for go to uni, I can have TAFE, actually, you have a constant lack of satisfaction. You don't go up, okay? But you can say, now I can go to TAFE, I can be an excellent, let's say, chef, and then I will go higher to uni and I will be teaching other people to become chefs. Or then that is actualization. Remember, characteristic of self-actualized persons teach others how to do that. So self-actualization, again, this is something you can go through in the PowerPoint and read. It is the words of him. It has to be an intrinsic growth that's already in the organism. I want you to see that he picks up words from Rogers, okay? But intrinsic growth means I want to do it, okay? The trees grow, but they don't want to grow. They grow anyhow. The point is that humans have a growth motivated from ourselves, okay? And all the needs and the Maslow's B values. Remember B values, the higher values, the growth values. He's talking about dichotomy of transcendence and aliveness and simplicity and richness and effortlessness, playfulness, self-sufficiency and meaningfulness. The person can find all this in everyday life. So why it's called dichotomy to transcendence? It means you find your way, you cut your way through. Dichotomy means cut in half. So dichotomy of transcendence means that you cut your way through to the peak experience. Okay, and this is what he has come up with. All of the people we discuss come up with concept maps because they have to theorize their theories. They have a chair in the university, academic, they have to have a theory. This is his theory, that's why all of them theories. So he is telling us that if we are whole, remember the whole that comes from self, the idea from the whole from Jung, and then the image, self-image and concept image, real self from Rogers, even Maslow, they have the same circle. So have all these characteristics that they are laid to be experiences and backwards. Because I'm trusting and have a judgment that it is accurate, I can have a growth choices, I've self-developed and I'm aware of myself, I don't have ego defenses, I'm not concentrating in not important things. When I'm trusting myself and the others and I'm honest, I have big experiences, and because I've seen the God, because I had big experiences, I can now work all this. So Maslow believed that all these people, they're probably actualizers. So Albert Einstein and Aldous Huxley, I hope you have, Aldous Huxley is an author. Go and find him. Excellent books. Old ones. I don't know if you're aware of them. Go and find it. We'll discuss it in the class. Thomas Jefferson, the president in the States. William James, Albert Schweitzer. This is the one who started the Red Cross. And Spinoza, a philosopher. All the others, they're almost there. And you could see Freud, Roosevelt, Lincoln, Goethe, Franklin Roosevelt, Beethoven. All of these are very important people. What's lacking to them? Yeah, it is actually the ability to offer to the others. They said Abraham Lincoln did whatever he did for America and the African Americans, but really he did it as a president. He did it through a fight, not because he wanted to do it, but he was forced to do it. And I think that's the end of it. That was a very adventurous VOD. Thank you. Still 30 minutes.